And at 6 tonight, Eau Claire becomes a political hotspot as national campaigns converge here this afternoon. Here's what you can expect more of tonight at 6.
Wisconsin has helped me in giving a warm Midwest welcome to the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
We landed about the same time that she did, and I went over there because I thought it might be nice to check out this plane that's going to be mine in a few months.
There were so many people here, nonetheless. It literally was spilling out.
I regret my shoe choice, but I don't regret being here at all.
We are not going back.
And when we fight, we win!
From WQOW, this is Eau Claire's own News 18 6 p.m. report.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Keith Edwards. From plane landings to Olson's ice cream and from rallies and reaction, we have a lot to cover tonight. So first, let's go out live to the site of the rally that recently housed more than 12,000 people. Elliot Adams joins us live from the Eau Claire Event District. Elliot, what's that area look like now?
Keith, this area is a ghost town compared to the hotbed of political activity it was before. As you said, according to Harris's campaign, there were over 12,000 people in attendance here today. And despite the late start, Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota were met with a cheering crowd. Walz spoke first, at one point pausing his speech to help a person in the audience who had overheated. His message, though, Donald Trump wants to take the country backwards.
He knows exactly what Project 2025 will do in restricting and taking our freedoms. He knows that it rigs the economy for the super rich. If he gets a chance to go back to the White House, it will be far worse than it was 4 years ago. Raising costs for the middle class, repealing the Affordable Care Act, gutting Social Security and Medicare, the very safety nets that protect people when they're down. And of course, banning abortions across this country with or without Congress.
Fighting for a woman's reproductive rights has been Harris's message since the beginning.
Now, more than 20 states in our country have a Trump abortion ban, many with no exceptions even for rape and incest. And if he wins, we all know he will sign a national abortion ban to outlaw abortion in every state, even in Wisconsin. But we are not going to let that happen because we trust women.
Harris got big cheers from the crowd when she thanked President Joe Biden for his service to the country, the crowd chanting, "Thank you, Joe." Harris and other speakers today all emphasize that the path to the White House goes through Wisconsin. This is Harris's 6th visit to Wisconsin this year and her first as a presidential candidate. Back to you, Keith.
Thank you, Elliot. Now, Harris spoke for 23 minutes this afternoon, and we have much more of her speech and of Governor Tim Walz's to share. We will bring you an in-depth look tonight at 10. You can also watch the speeches on WQOW.com. And music echoed from the Eau Claire Event District with Bon Iver playing tunes for the crowd during the rally. Before Harris took the stage at the Eau Claire Event District, 3 Democrats spoke in support of her and Walz.
We have to send an undeniable message this November. Don't mess with our reproductive rights because you messed with them your first term. We're going to make it your only term.
And we lead with kindness, respect, and compassion. And those are the exact Midwestern values, qualities, and work ethic that will make Tim a great vice president.
Because we are the battleground state. Wisconsin is likely to decide who our next president is and who controls the United States Senate.
And a local farmer also spoke at the rally, saying he and others like him struggled under the Trump administration.
Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz know that rural America is the backbone of our nation. It's family farms like mine that feed our country, and it's small businesses in towns like Cadott that keep our economy strong.
Danielson said Trump doesn't care about rural America and said he will be voting for Harris this November. Now, Katie Fernetten joins us now. So, Katie, you had a very unique opportunity today while the vice president was in town.
Yeah, I did. I'm a little sunburned coming on tonight, but I got to ride in the vice presidential motorcade to and from the rally in Eau Claire today. And it's not every day that you get to hit the streets of Eau Claire and not get stopped at a red light. That was pretty nice, but it was a whirlwind that I will never forget, especially this one moment that happened. The moment the vice president came on the tarmac. Take a look.
12,000 people made their way to the event district in Eau Claire to see the first female vice president. But it was on the tarmac that you could see the impact of this moment. These girls from Chippewa Falls making cards for Vice President Kamala Harris to welcome her to the Chippewa Valley, and shirts that read, "The American dream belongs to all of us." And Harris's favorite.
One of those young leaders had a shirt on that said, "You are powerful and your voice matters." Right? From the mouths of babes, they're telling us. They're telling us. And so let's remember that. Let's remember our power. Let's remember our voice matters. And with that, then I ask, are you ready to make your voices heard?
For a brief moment on that tarmac, it wasn't about party or the campaign trail. It was about these young girls learning they too can dream big.
No, it was a very touching moment, and just talking to those girls, they were so excited. Some of them telling me, I want to be president one day, and just being able to see that, it was just amazing. So it was a great day, very, excuse me, very busy. I get emotional because something in me just, it was so great. But like I mentioned, I was in the motorcade and I was following the vice president all day long. So after the rally, I was able to go to the local store where she and her running mate, Tim Walz, they checked out some Wisconsin-centric products. Now, Walz, he made a joke that he heard he could spend hours in the store, being the Midwest guy he is. We all know those products that are in there. And they were joined with Bon Iver's frontman, Eau Claire's own Justin Vernon, who played before the rally today. We just heard a little bit of that. Now, Kamala ended up buying some honey and Wisconsin cheese curds to take back with her to Washington.
Wow, quite a day. Thanks, Katie.
Yes.
Well, Nick Tabbert and Brianna Reinhardt also attended the rally today. They spoke with some attendees afterward. They join us live from the event district. And what were the key takeaways today?
There was just so much emotion and passion here today. Nick and I were able to catch up with people as they were leaving after the rally to kind of just ask how they were feeling. And the message they continued to tell us was the message of hope and joy.
We also caught up with a longtime friend of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Aaron Miller was an educator and a coach with the VP Hopeful. They've kept in touch over the years. Miller very impressed with how Walz handled himself on the big stage.
What you saw today is Tim. That is Governor Walz. He is sincere. He is very compassionate. He wants the best for people. He wants the best, and he leads that way. And the details matter, and the care. Those are things I saw in the classroom, things I saw on the football field, as a coach and as a human being. My daughter had Mr. Walz, and one time he saw me and he said, your daughter really understands social justice. And so I was like, I couldn't have been more proud of my kiddo. You got a great leader in Tony Evers, but oh my goodness, what Governor Walz can bring to this ticket is boundless energy. It's going to be great.
Tim Walz was just like the best pick she could have possibly made for her running mates. He's done great things for Minnesota, and so it was really great to be here.
It's a great ticket, and it's what the United States needs right now, and I'm confident they are going to win in November.
And Brianna, it felt like about half the crowd today was Minnesotans. When Governor Walz took an informal poll, it seemed like about every other hand shot up. It was people from Minnesota. Really impressive for Walz to have that much support. We'll have more reaction from rally attendees tonight at 10.
For Nick Tabbert, I'm Brianna Reinhardt, reporting in Eau Claire at the Event District for News 18.
All right, thank both of you doing double duty, our sports team today. Storm Tracker 18 Chief Meteorologist Matt Schaefer joins us now. Matt, turned out to be a decent day to attend those political events.
Yeah, of course it's summer. It's still warm. There was sunshine, though. It's a little bit cooler than it's been in the past couple of weeks. And then clouds started to roll in kind of after those events took place this afternoon and evening. That's where we stand right now. Kind of cloudy. I know the airport's still reading a partly cloudy sky, but it's some thin, brighter clouds right now moving through. It is cooler, just 72 right now. South-southwest breeze of 7. Humidity, the dew point's up to 57. Some of that is because the rain that is on radar. Now, Eau Claire does have some yellows there, so some drops starting to fall depending on where you are in the city. There are more of those lighter showers to our west that we might get in a little bit of a break here in the short term, so chance goes down to slight over the next couple hours, but still can't rule it out. Then they'll continue through on and off through the night into tomorrow morning. More details coming up in just a little bit.
More political coverage now. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance was also in Eau Claire today. His message very different from the one Harris delivered. News 18's Toby Moore was there with more on what Vance is saying to the people of western Wisconsin. Toby?
Yeah, Keith, the Ohio senator and Donald Trump's running mate spoke to the media in Eau Claire this afternoon at Woolard International Manufacturing. That's just over 3 miles from the Eau Claire event district. At the same time, Vice President Harris spoke to the accomplishments of the Biden administration. Vance tried to send a different message.
She has not been a good vice president for the American people.
Speaking to the media in Eau Claire, Vance painted a different picture from Harris's rally, criticizing her job as vice president, specifically on border security, fentanyl, and the U.S. reliance on energy from overseas.
I don't think she deserves a promotion. I think she deserves to be fired.
Why did you choose to speak here in Eau Claire today, the same time as Harris?
Well, we wanted to make sure there was a contrast, in part because the media has been so dishonest about Kamala Harris's record, and in part because they refused to ask her questions. We wanted to make sure that there was at least somebody out there providing an alternative story.
Vance also criticized Harris's newly announced running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, for his handling of the riots in recent years in Minneapolis, saying he would like to debate Walz.
I want to debate Governor Walz because nothing to do with Governor Walz, but because the American people deserve to see the people who want to be their vice president stand before them and try to persuade them.
Vance's event was not open to the public, but that didn't stop some supporters.
God bless America and God bless Trump
From gathering outside.
We're here to show our support in God's chosen men for the presidency to make America great again.
Now, Vance spoke for about a half hour and took about a dozen questions from reporters on election integrity, manufacturing jobs, and the Harris-Walz ticket. You can watch the full press conference on WQOW.com.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Toby. Now, Vance did stop for a sweet treat after his press conference.
What's that? No joke. We're counting on you guys.
Vance stopped at Olson's Ice Cream downtown. During his stop, he talked with guests, autographed a shirt, and even gave one little girl a hug before exiting the shop. Incidentally, Vance ordered a small dish of mocha mud pie ice cream. After the Harris-Walz rally and the Vance presser, we sat down with a political science professor from UW-Stout. She shared her impressions of Harris and Walz's joint appearance today, as well as her thoughts on picking Walz as a running mate.
You can tell that they are working well together, that they are on the same page, giving the same message, even in the same space. So I think it was a good choice so far.
Professor Zagorski also shared her input on how J.D. Vance did at his appearance today.
He did what was expected of a vice presidential running mate, in that you are there to promote the campaign's message. And if we look at the Trump campaign, its focus certainly has been on border security, illegal immigration, China, and all of that was present in Vance's speech.
We also asked after both of these visits who seems to be ahead. Zagorski said the polls are within the margin of error, so it's too early to tell, and that we probably won't know until the votes are counted. In fact, a new Marquette Law School poll out today finds former President Donald Trump and Vice President Harris are in a tight race in Wisconsin. Trump is leading Harris among registered voters 50% to 49%. Among likely voters, it flips with Harris at 50% and Trump at 49%. in June before the debate between President Joe Biden and Trump, when Biden was still the Democratic candidate. Biden and Trump each received 50% among Wisconsin registered voters, while Biden received 51% and Trump 49% among likely voters. Still ahead at 6, life-saving medication is now available to students and staff in the Altoona School District. Learn more ahead. Plus, a new community tip line was launched in Barron County this week. Learn how it's used after the break.
A few light showers are on the radar. I'm tracking them and have how long they'll last in my forecast.
And on Wall Street today, the Dow went down 234 points, while the price of oil went up $2.03 to $75.23 a barrel.